What if we just embrace the fact that it's all hard? And no matter what you do, it is going to be a challenging thing that you're going to have to work at. If you work at anything that is significant, which I think we all work on things that are significant, family, relationships, working within our particular domains for our careers, working out, getting exercise. What if we just embrace the fact that it's actually all hard? And that's the point of it, that it's supposed to be challenging. I work in a profession that likes to look for shortcuts. I'm a business professor, and the logic is that there's two ways to sort of think of these. If you put in more effort, you're supposed to get more rewards. That's a strong logic that is told within the business school arena and many sort of self-helpy kind of things. The other thing is thinking about if you look for shortcuts or that there is a certain way to do these things that is going to be easier and faster, as logic is very much built within the profession. There's lots of people that sort of have this. I'm an engineer. I understand the sort of quick doing things as easy as possible will lead you to better returns. But in my experience, even when you have these different better returns, what you don't realize is the process is still hard and it still is tricky. Even when you're actually putting in the effort and getting these better returns, there's always somebody else, there's always something that is better than you. Now, instead of thinking about how you can get there quicker or these different shortcuts, which I know they exist. I think that there are things like that that actually exist. If we just embrace the fact as we're doing this that it's going to be hard and it's going to be a challenging thing. Whatever it is that you're working on and whatever it is that you're looking at, it is going to be a challenging thing. Now, the reason why I get you to think about this rather than thinking about the logic of goal setting and getting there quicker is because you do things that are very, very different when you do that. Instead of thinking about how can I get there faster and better and do all of this kind of stuff, you begin to realize like, hey, it's actually the journey is the enjoyment of actually doing things for a long time and realizing that it actually is hard to do, that that is actually the beauty of it. And you kind of change how you actually interact with the world when you do that. Now, I see this a lot within, students, for example, that everybody wants to get a job really quick. Everybody wants they get the degree to get a job super fast. With doctoral students, with PhD students, they see this a lot because they want a publication as quickly as possible. But what this ends up getting you to do is burn out or leave or do things that you're just not necessarily proud about. So instead of having that logic, you come into it realizing it's going to take a long time. I'm not going to lose this weight in a month, but I'm going to lose it in a year. That's going to change how you actually interact with the world around you. When you come into it thinking, I'm going to actually spend a few years doing this and working at it, your mindset, how you do things is really difficult. At least in my field, if you say it's going to take me 10 years to publish a research publication, which is probably actually what the norm is for doing good research, if you come into it thinking like, I'm going to take 10 years to do this, that's a far different story in terms of how you interact with the world and what you do and how you feel about yourself than saying, I'm going to publish this within 4 years. And you're going to actually do things fundamentally different. And I'm not saying, you know, kind of lay back and go to the cottage and, do all of that kind of stuff. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is come into it realizing that everything is hard. And if you realize that everything is hard, no matter what you do, and you realize that it is a challenge, that you're going to be willing to step up and repeatedly do this day in and day out until you actually get this thing done. and you go through those experiences that are painful, and you get a little bit, I'm not saying get a lot, just a little bit of enjoyment from the fact that it's a little bit painful. And you learn to love that sort of struggle that you go through on a daily basis. That is a far different story than what is told within. You pick up any business book, any business book, and you read what it says, and it's all about shortcuts to get there quicker and all of this kind of, just honestly, it's crap. Because if you actually apply it, it doesn't work. It just fundamentally doesn't work. And you might be watching this, you might be thinking he doesn't know what he's talking about. Listen, I've tried all of those things that you're thinking about. They don't work. Who do you know actually creates a checklist every day and goes through that checklist? Nobody. Even the highest performing people that I know do not do that. They do not go through all of these checklists. It just does not work. The world is far too complicated, even within the day to day, to realize that there's some sort of checklisty thing that you can get, you can accomplish, and go through all of those things. Do I think that they actually work to allow you to repeat the same thing and have better performance by doing that? Yes, they actually work. But the world is complicated. For us as individuals, there's always something that comes up. And it's very difficult to mandate in your life to do checklists. We're not robots. So what I want us to think about, or you to think about, is realize it's going to take a lot of work. And if you're going to do this checklist thing and put in checklists, realize that even that of itself consumes a great deal of energy. You're going to spend an hour a day doing checklists to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of the day. By that time, you spent most of your day actually doing the checklist. So I'd encourage you to go through, just realize everything is hard. And it's going to be a journey, no matter what. And you may not get there as quick as you think that you're going to get there. So if you plan on it taking 10 years, maybe it's going to be, maybe you're actually going to have a better expectation of how anything happens in your life. Man, I'm going to tell you this. Most things that are important in my life, family, friends, all of that kind of stuff, it's taken years to build and to do good things repeatedly. It doesn't happen overnight. Nothing ever does. To realize the journey is slow, and that's actually the beauty of it.